Good morning, good morning, good morning. Amazing, amazing IME family. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having an amazing, amazing day. I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Um, I wanted to wait for you guys to let me know what time would work for everyone to do this training, but there is so much power and so much knowledge, and it's so fresh in my mind right now that I'm just going to do a recording. I'm going to drop it in our chat so that everyone can watch it at their leisure. Okay. Now, the one thing I do want to ask is when you do watch it, a couple of things. Personally, I think I've mentioned it before. I would love to become an educator, especially an educator for our team. So I want to make sure that my educational style and that I'm able to deliver the message the right way. Okay. So if you understand it, please, even if you don't understand it, give me your honest, genuine feedback. Hey, like, look, G, this ain't for you. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Or, hey, you know what? I did understand. And thank you so much. I understand what the support and resistant trend lines are all about. Okay. So I'm taking it fresh from what I learned and bringing it to you today. And what it is the SRT zones: support, resistant, and trend line zones, and how to mark up your charts. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all so that you can see what it is that we're going to be doing today. And it should be here now. My double check. My share screen should be my chart over here. So pretty sure that it is. Let me just double make sure. Share screen, desktop 2. Yep, there it is. Boom. All right. So first thing that you're going to need to do is this is something you are not going to do on your Liberty app or your Hourglass app. Allow our scanners to be our scanners and do just that, right? How to scan the market. It already has implemented indicators, so don't mess with that. So one thing that you can do, and this is absolutely free, is you're going to go to tradingview.com, okay? And you're going to utilize the free subscription. You don't need to do the paid subscription. It's not needed right now, right? If you want to implement more of their indicators and other services they have, by all means, later, that's something that you can do. But for now, the only thing you need to do is open up an account with tradingview.com. So that's what I did here, where I already have my chart open up. But let me go ahead and start from the beginning. Then you go tradingview.com. You can utilize the free subscription. Okay. You go here to your charts. I am paying for it, so I have a couple of other pre-laid out charts, but we're gonna just go with a blank canvas. Okay. Just a blank canvas. And typically when you open up your chart, it's already pretty much, it looks something like this, right? When you open it up, right? One of the things that we need to do is I'm gonna just start from the beginning on all of this, right? This is typically how you're gonna see your charts, right? You're gonna see it like this. You're gonna see I've already modified mine. You can modify yours here through your settings and configure it the way that you would like, have it show the positions. What do you want your symbols to look like? Do you want the value? You can modify this to your colors. You can change your background. You can have it gray, you can have it black, you can have it white, you can have it pink. Excuse me, whatever you would like it to have, you can most definitely do that here in your chart settings, okay? So I'm here, I want just a white canvas with, my candlesticks that are in a buy going up for blue and my candlesticks that are in a sell going down for red, okay? So we're here and we're gonna get started with the 1 week chart. We're gonna do 2 markups, okay? We're gonna do the 1 week and we're gonna do a 15-minute markup. And it's very, very simple. Now, if you've gone through your academy, even through the FRX and the HFX, it talks about support and resistance and how to identify them, okay? But all we're doing now is we're marking up our charts. So the first thing you wanna do, load up the 1 week chart and just go ahead and zoom all the way out, okay? Zoom all the way out because again, ladies and gentlemen, history repeats itself. You'll hear the educators say that over and over and over again. history repeats itself. Now, if you see, I'm doing the US CAD, and for those of you who know, those are one of the charts that we utilize on the HFX platform, but marking up your charts works for everything, okay? So I'm gonna be using the UCAD, the United States Canadian dollar chart, you know, and one of the things to always do and always know, and the second step that our educators recommend, before you start trading, before you start doing anything, look at the news, okay? So when you go here, you're gonna go to forexfactory.com, okay? forexfactory.com, and that's going to give you the news on a global scale and what's going on with other countries and their currencies and news, okay? This is news driven to let you know what's going on. And so we're here, okay? And the most important, there's four things that are important. The time that the news is going to be happening, right? And you can preset it to have it be your prefix. Like for us here on the West Coast, you can set it up to be a West Coast Pacific Standard Time prefix. The second important thing to look at here is the currency pair and which pairs are going to be affected. But the biggest and most important thing outside of that is going to be the forecast and the actual, okay? Now looking at this, the forecast is what is currently going on with their current economy, right? So here, if you look at the news, it's going to impact the European euro. The current forecast is 36.3 billion. After this news that happened at 1 a.m. our time, we saw that the actual forecast went up to 40.2 billion. So this news, right? This news had a positive impact of $4 billion on the economy. So anything doing with the euro, most likely value went up, okay? Now we look here at the trade balance. It went from 19.2 billion. The actual number now was 25.8 billion. Again, positive increase, right? So as you go through that, that's the type of stuff that's important, right? So if at 2 o'clock in the morning, you would have been trading the euro, you would have probably seen some positive movement on the euros, okay? So this is what it is. This is where you're gonna see and what's important. Obviously the red is the most graphic, you know, potential devastating news, but we just focus on the red, orange, and yellows, okay? So that's something important. If you look at nothing here going on with the US dollar, 5:30 news, there was something going on with the Canadian dollar, but this is where you really want to check the news and what's going on with the value of the currencies, okay? So now let's go mark up our charts with our support and resistance, and let's have some fun with this. So if you look at it, I zoomed all the way out here on the weekly 1 week USD CAD chart. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with our indicators here on the left, and we're going to go with not trend lines, but we're going to go with a horizontal raise, okay? We don't need the charts to go all the way back. We just need to go from where we see the support and where we see the resistance, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark up our supports here to start off with. And when we go, we want to start from left to right, okay? So here we have, there's two things that we're looking for. Either a one solid, just one completely off the chart type of support or completely off the chart type of resistance that's just a way. The second way that we're going to be marking up our charts when it comes to support and resistance is 3 times that you see it touching as a support or as a resistance. So if you look at this here, we have 3 touches, one right here, okay, one right here right in the beginning. We have another touch here, and then we have another touch here. That's how we're marking up this chart. Now, one thing that I like to do on the weekly, I like to have it a dark blue, and I like my lines to be a little bit thicker so that I can identify what it is that I see at that time, okay? So I'm only doing 2 charts today, so that's gonna be the weekly, and so I'm only gonna go to the blue chart. Come on, go ahead and drop, I don't need. It's down. So there's one, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just mark up all of our supports. Okay, here's a standalone. Um, indicator. All right, we're going to go down here again, and just everything that creates a new support is what we're looking at, okay? Now, when it comes to traditional Forex trading, traditional Forex traders, they hate having a whole bunch of lines on their charts. But being that this is binary options, it's great to be able to see the market and really have a clear understanding long term of what's going on with the market, okay? So here we go. Which other ones do we see? Okay, we have some here. New standalone right here. All right, boom, boom, boom. Let's go ahead and let's do the next one. Here's another one here. And then let's go ahead and do this one. And one more here. One. Oh, that's almost. Yeah, let's pull this one back. This one needs to go over here. This actually needs to be right about here, actually. All we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is just marking up the charts to see where the market is supporting the market, okay? So 1, 2, it's too early. Let's see, boom, right about here. Okay, there's our last support. It's gonna be taking place right about here on the weekly chart. So there we have our supports, okay? Now we do the exact same thing, but we're gonna change it to our new resistance. We're gonna change that to a dark red. Okay, we have it here. We also have a support, the resistance here. We have support here. We also have support here that hits it twice on a more current aspect. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why this is important is because these support and resistance zones and lines shows that the market respects that point, okay? So it respected the, on this indicator here, it respected the 524 and kicked it back down. You see that? Then it respected right around the 988 because it broke it for a little bit, but then it came back up. So all of these supports and resistance are just indicators of what the market is supporting and what the market is doing and what areas they're staying in, okay? So you can kind of see what's going on with the market. Now, one of the great things to do that is highly recommended is you can actually set alerts to be sent to the TradingView app and also sent to your email. So what we're gonna do, the last step of this before we go on to do our trend lines is we're gonna go ahead and set alerts. Now on this indicator, we're gonna go here, right, add an alert, and you're gonna switch it over from only once to once per bar, notify on the app, show pop-ups in an email, and then you're gonna go ahead and just change the message to USD CAD weekly support cross or cross down, right? So when it's obviously breaking it, it's gonna be a cross down on the support to let you know which way the market is going, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and copy this message because we're gonna place it on all of our blues. Okay, boom, create. Now we're gonna go to the next one. Just in case the market does come back this way, it's notifying us and letting us know what's going on. See, that way we don't have to remember what every single little line is. This is gonna be our reminder for us because in the pop-up on our phone, it's gonna show us what's going on and to look at what the market is doing, right? So let me see. Modify. this alert because I did. Okay, perfect. I want to double check, make sure that I changed it over. So the next one, boom, support once per bar. Change the message, create, and you're going to set alerts on all of these support and resistance, and then also, more importantly, the trends. Okay, the trends is going to notify you so you can see what move is actually going on in the market. Okay, so when you set a trend line and you're waiting for it to, break that, when you hear them say, oh, it's breaking the 825, it's most likely because they've set an alert and they're seeing that that's what's going on at that present moment in time in the market. Okay, so there's that one. Great way to be able to see what's going on in the market and what's the real momentum and trend that's currently going on. So almost done setting these. Okay, boom, boom. And then we have this bad boy. So this one, alert once. Oh, maybe I have it. Oh, I must have too many out already. Nope. Okay. So let me remove this one. I don't need the closer ratio ones are more important because it's closer to the market. So I want to remove a few of these. I have a couple of other charts marked up already. That's probably why it's telling me that I need to upgrade, because it gives me so many markers at a time. So that's cool. Not tripping. Gonna go ahead and drop this one. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna drop this one on a closer time frame. So I'm not gonna be able to do them all right now, but I most definitely will have these closer ones because these are more important. So I did these two here. Now we're gonna go ahead and put in some trend lines, okay? So back over to our trend tool, and we're gonna go to a trend line, and we're gonna modify it to have it show an arrow, not just a dot, so we can see which way the market is moving. And these, I still like to keep it some form of blue, but not necessarily the same as my support and resistance lines, okay? So let's go ahead and let's mark up some positive trends. So let's go right here, and we're looking again for 3 indications of trending, okay? So here we have 1, 2, right about here. Yep. Let's go ahead and make that line a little bit thinner. What else do we have? Yep, now we have a new trend, kind of worked off of this trend, right? We see 1, 2, 3. There we go. For sure want to add an alert on that. And then really no other uptrends that's going on here on the weekly. We had a couple of downtrends, so let's go ahead and let's do that. Trend line, gonna turn this now to be the pink, right? A trend line here, 1, 2, 3. There. All right, what else? What else? What else? Oh, we have a close one right here. We have 2 actually right there. From this break down, one right here. Okay, so that's the weekly markup, and we kind of see where the market is going at now, right? So we see it's a lot closer to our resistance trends than it is our support trends. So if you look at it, it's been on a what? It's been going on a down trend lately. On the 1 week, what is it doing? It's respecting those supports and it's working those resistance and it's working their way back down. Okay, so now, so just to make sure I have enough of my blue, of my alerts, we're going to go ahead and go over to a 15-minute chart. And 15-minute chart obviously is a lot wider, so I'm not sure if I can fit all of this in my, we're going to find out today. No. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep it fresh, keep it here. Boom, boom. What is this? Alert crossing. Okay, perfect. So that's an earlier indicator. Okay, so now let's draw some trend lines, some support and resistance lines here. We're going to go back to our horizontal ray. And ladies and gentlemen, we're just marking up the charts to show where the zones are. And I did one earlier on our GBP USD, and I placed a couple of trades, and I want to show you how it actually can be implemented right away when it comes to what's going on in the markets, okay? And how it just naturally respects that. So we're going to do a few here, here. You guys get the gist of the idea of what's going on with the training. Here's a new one here as well. That's supported across on a couple of zones. Let's see. Now let's do some supports. Change the color to red. Here. Support. Support. Now, this is, again, like I said, I can't stress enough. This is really, really going to help when we're looking at the market and we're seeing what's going on. Wow, look at this. Even on the 15-minute, one of the weekly ones that I drew in is respecting that support, right? If you see this here, when I click on it, right, let's say I want to delete it, confirmation. This drawing is used as an alert. Do not remove the drawing. The alert will be removed. Do you want to remove the drawing anyway? So obviously the answer is no. But even when you look at it, when you break it down to the 15-minute chart from the weekly chart to the 15-minute chart, look how it's respecting that. It's respecting that tough here in the market. Man, that's crazy. All right. Now, I'm actually going to change this one here to be a baby blue. And the reason why I'm going to do a baby blue with this one is because this was initially support back here in, what year is that? March and April of 2019. But look at over time, it went from support, support, boom, resistance, 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 right? Boom, support, support, was supporting that, boom, then became resistance over here in April of this year. Then it's been resistance ever since. So I'm actually going to change that. Sorry, not a baby blue, but I'm going to change this over to being orange, which is closer to red because it's acting more as resistance now than it is actual support. Does that make sense? Did you see how over time that changed from support, right, to supporting the market? That when it just broke it, it then became resistance. That's crazy how that happened, right? But that's one of the things that does happen in the market. So now let's go ahead and let's find some closer supports, right? We're going to go back to our red. We have some good zones here. Let's see. Yep, right here. What else do we got? 1, 2, 3. Yep. That's closer, more impactful. And then the last one is going to be right about 1, 2, 3 here. Now, those are our supports and our resistance that we marked up for the 15-minute chart. Now let's look at some trend lines. Okay, when we look at some trend lines, let's see what type of trends we've seen on the long-term play. Okay, and obviously just by looking at the chart, you can see that this is really, right, has been on some bearish trends. Okay, bearish means down. Boom, boom. This one has several. This is respected this trend line, man, all the way through. Whew, sheesh. This is respected, man. Look at how it's respected that, right? I'm gonna. Where's that other cool little tool? We got a little bubble. Look at that. It respected it here, right? It respected it a couple of times in here, right? Where else did it respect it? Respected it absolutely here, right? Look at that, man. The chart. And this is why it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to, before you just go into trading, right, and really learning and mastering this craft, you can really see where where the history repeats itself. It's crazy. You hear that and you hear that over and over in the education, but really when you spend some time right outside of just trading and you start really just trying to understand what's going on in these markets, look at it how much, right, it's respected this trend. This is crazy, right? It respected it over the course of April 20, in the course of a month, right? It's respected this downward trend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different times. It's respected that before it broke out, right? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it works its way back down again to support that trend line. So major trend, that's a huge trend on what's going on, right? Now, there's trends within trends. I've heard them say that before, and what they mean by that is this, right? Here's another little trend, right, that's going down. Okay. Where are some other trends? But you can just see the downward movements that's going on in the markets. Okay. Now let's move over here a little bit, right? We're going to see a trend here that's been respected. We're going to see a trend here that's been respected. Okay, it kind of kicks, and look at where it kicks off of, ladies and gentlemen, these support and resistance zones, right, that we're marking up. That's where the trends are being created, is because they're hitting those support lines or they're hitting those trend lines, and they're bouncing off and going back in the direction that the market wants it to go. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, a lot of, sell opportunities with UCAD. Now, let's see if we can find a couple of, it's going to be tough, but let's see if we can find a couple of trends, upward trends, right? Let's see. Let's go ahead and boom. 1, 2, yep. We had some here. Change that over to be baby blue. What other trends? We had a small little trend here, upward trend. 1, 2, 3, right? Up to about where else? I would say probably the biggest one that's probably coming up next, if there's going to be any type of resistance to push the market back up, we're going to be looking from this trend to this trend, right? So we may have a couple of pretty important points on trends coming up here, right? So what I mean by that is this, is that there's trends amongst trends, right? So what I mean by that is this, there's a lot of trends that's going on in this part of the market, okay? So let's zoom in a little bit, right? So we can see what it is that, what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go ahead and just take off that big old bubble. We don't need it. I just wanna zoom in. Playing with these tools is kind of fun. Zoom in and show you what I mean by that. So, right, so let me zoom this in now as I bring this training to a close, okay? And look at what's been going on with this downward trend that we see here off of these supports, right? But then look at this upward trend that we have here, okay? This is a previous set indicator crossing, right? So on a downward trend, so we're gonna have a couple of interesting zones coming up here pretty significantly, at least probably today, right? So if we see this, it kicked off of this one. Look at that, boom, kicked off, shot the market down, boom, retested that, kicked the market down, kicked the market down. There's that crossing, right? Kick the market back up. Right? Shot the market back up. Boom. Bro, it's staying within these trends. It's staying within these zones. If you can see, if you see what I'm talking about, it's staying within these areas, right? Okay, boom, bounce off of that. Now we're back here into a current trend, right? And look at that. Respecting these trends, right? Boom, kicked it back off of that resistance. Boom, kicked it back off of this resistance. And it's on a downward trend, but now we're in here, okay, within a trend line going down, but also a small trend going up. And look at how it's supporting that trend, right? Kicked it back up off of this downward trend, brought it up. Oh, saw another downward trend, brought it back down. So here is going to be some interesting crossing zones, right? If this breaks, if this breaks 40313 going down, we're going to see a big push going down into the market. If it bounces it back up, we're probably, let me see, just so you can see what I'm talking about. It's not going to be a trend. It's extended, right? So the market's currently here. I wouldn't be surprised if it kicked the market back down and then kicked the market back up. Wrong indicator. I'll just go with what I know. Trend. So you see this, it's working up, right? If it continues to work up, it's gonna go up to right around in here, okay? And probably gonna then kick the market back down because it's gonna respect, if we see it's been respecting all of these zones. So then you're gonna see the market kick back down and respect somewhere around here. If it breaks this zone, okay, the zone that I'm referring to is gonna be in here. If it breaks that zone, breaks this area right here, you know, let me draw a small little horizontal. If it breaks this 308 and it goes down, we're going to see a downward trend, or it's going to kick it back up, right? And I'm curious to see, I'm going to keep an eye on this personally myself. I'm curious to see what's going to happen, right? Is it going to respect this and push it back up to here and continue to just stay within this trend? Or is it gonna, or where is it gonna break out? You see what I'm saying? Is it gonna just stay within here, or any one of these gonna just give it that strongward push, right, to keep on moving the charts down? But that doesn't matter. That's just stuff that you're able to see over time. But I hope I was able to help a little bit and really show you why it's important to have charts marked up and get an understanding of what's going on in the market. So I just encourage you guys, if you want to have some fun, let's experiment together, you guys. Go ahead and go on TradingView if you have some time. Grab any pair, and do some markups on the charts. Do some markups on the charts, and then print screen or cut your screen and put it in the charts. I'm gonna do that here for you guys, and throw it in the chart. Oh, but before I leave, I think it was on. Was it GU earlier today? It was. Okay, perfect. Let me see. I was up at 8. Yep, it was right here. So here I set an alert. Well, I didn't set the alert. Ned set the alert, right? We were trading at this time. His training session was at 7 a.m. So right before we got off, he said, if it breaks this downward trend, right? If it breaks this pink line, this thick pink line going down, if it breaks this, it's going to test it. But look at what's going to happen on the next candle. If you see the next candle that opens up as a red, it's going to push down. So we most definitely did that. He jumped in a trade. I didn't. And he said, I'm going to do a quick little 3-minute sell. And let me show you how this is going to respect that trend line. Sure enough, he put in a 3-minute sell. I missed it, but his cleared. And just in a training session, my dude made like an extra $3,000 just as a demo example, right, of what was going on in the market. But look at that. Look how it's respected this trend, right? That's why I feel so confident saying what I'm saying and repeating what I'm repeating, because I'm repeating and I'm learning from the right cats. So again, and then look, it did it, boom, it did it here. And then history what? Repeats itself. It did it here. So if this works its way back up, it's gonna test it, and then it's either gonna break out or it's gonna do what? Bounce back down. More likely than not, it's going to bounce back down. So I hope this brought you guys a little bit of value. I hope it was able to just show you the importance of learning our craft, having fun with it, because I feel just a little bit smarter. I feel just a little bit more confident being able to look at these charts and see what's going on in the markets. Far from being a professional, but I most definitely look forward to learning some more, growing some more, and having fun making money on these charts. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Again, challenge you to just give me some constructive feedback. How was this training session? Did you learn from it? And then if you did, let's mark up some charts, have some fun with it, and let me see them in the chat. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.